Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 high points. The one thing that I would tell you about these two chapters in the unit is that the big thing you're going to have to do is evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. You're going to have to evaluate what it is that you're looking for in your own fitness facility. You're going to have to evaluate the candidates that you're going to be interviewing for your positions, and you're really going to need to evaluate the kind of things that you want your employees to know whenever they are starting to work for you. Okay, so evaluation is going to be the critical component out of all these things. If you don't grasp anything else from this chapter, just know that no matter what type of business you're going to be in, if you're going to be going into business for yourself, you need to be constantly evaluating everything around you so that you have the best business possible. Okay, so some of the high points in chapter 3. The first thing you need to know is that whenever you're going to be trying to recruit the best staff for your needs, there are different layers. Okay, in our traditionally in our industry, you have the folks on top that are your certified and degreed individuals, the ones that have had to go through certifications like personal training stuff, folks that have had to get certain number of degrees, whether it be bachelor's, master's, doctorates, those kind of things. Those are the individuals that are really sitting on the top and really command a lot of your salaries and the benefits and the perks of working for you. And then you have your mid-level folks, the ones that maybe are still working on their college degrees and maybe have just gotten out of high school. And then you also have the entry-level staff where those particular jobs don't necessarily need a great amount of education. They can do a lot of on-the-job training. Okay, so those are really going to be the kind of components that you're looking for when you're recruiting for folks in your facility. And not every single job is created equal, but everybody is important. The best way I can tell you that is that everybody has a job to do. Everybody is an important cog in your business. But there are some folks that are required to make bigger decisions in terms of what you are looking for in the big picture. Those are the individuals that you need to make sure you are taking care of, but you also need to take care of those employees that are having to work with your customers on a day-to-day basis. They're your entry-level staff, but they work hand in hand with your customers every day. So you need to make sure that you understand everyone is important, though not everybody is treated the same way. It's not necessarily about fair, it's what's being equitable. So try to take that from chapter 3 and chapter 4 as well. When you're doing your job structure, make sure that whenever positions you're going to be recruiting for, and your second assignment is a good example of this, is that when you're creating that job description, you are really formalizing what it is that you want this position to do. So whether it's your degree level position or if it's your position that is your entry level staff, make sure that you are very clearly and concisely putting down what it is you want each job to be responsible for. Because you don't want to cross paths with someone. A lot of times that's where misunderstanding and miscommunication comes into whenever you're dealing with staff. Okay. The one thing else that I really want to touch on in chapter 3 that I think is very important is are the interview questions. Okay. For those of you that have ever had to apply for a job before, you understand what it's like to be in an interview and how intense that can be. It doesn't matter what position you're applying for. Now this is your opportunity to be on the other side of the table and ask the questions of the people that you want to be on your team. This is that opportunity. This is the best time for you to get to know who this person is, what it is that they stand for, and if they're going to be on your team or not. And you have to really ask very good probing questions to make sure that you know what it is that you're getting out of this person, because you really only have that 30 to 45-minute block of time to get to know who this person is, find out if they're going to be the best fit, and then make a reaction. You pretty much know if you've ever been in an interview and you're the person that is doing the interviewing. Once they walk in, you have a pretty good idea on if they're going to be a part of your position or not, be a part of your group. Likewise, if you've ever gone in for an interview, it's a two-way street. You know, a really good candidate is going to have different options. So they're going to be coming into your position saying, okay, I know that I want this job, but I want to know if who I'm going to be working for is someone that I want to work for. Not every position is uh, something where you have to hire somebody right away. You know, you get to take your time, look for the right candidates, and push forward for that. So really, this interview part, you need to make sure you're asking the right types of questions and avoiding the questions that you can't ask. Anything that has to do with their personal life, their religion, their gender, their sexual orientation. All of those things are no-nos. And in chapter 3, there are very good examples of things that you cannot ask. Okay. Let's go to chapter 4 real quick, and we will cover the training. Okay, this is another going to be a very important component to your second assignment, is that you're going to have to develop a concise training on one subject. I'm not going to ask you to develop a whole training program, because that's really advanced, and that's stuff that professionals are doing. What you are going to be responsible for is taking a component of your job, whether it's customer service, safety and risk management, maintenance, whatever, or anything like that, and developing a training program for your department, for your area, for your business. So that way the person that you are trying to recruit will understand what it is they're looking for in this component. Okay? So whenever you're developing trainings for your staffs, you need to make sure that you're evaluating what it is you want them to accomplish out of this. What do you want them to get from the training? That's the big thing. Again, evaluation. Make sure you do that stuff. Know what it is that you're trying to, the information that you're trying to give them, and make sure that the information you're trying to give them is something that is going to be what you're asking for. All right, those are going to be some very big important things. Make sure when you're delivering that material, you're doing it in a way that's concise and effective. Try not to be around a place where there's a lot of distractions. As you read in the chapter, you'll know that you'll notice that there's different ways that you can do the training, whether you do it in-house in your facility. Some people tend to go off into retreats and go out into wilderness areas, or just to a hotel suite and do something in conference rooms and things like that. It's whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you want to set the right mood for it. So that's another critical component for you. And then make sure that when you're delivering that material, whether it's you or an expert or someone like that, that they're very specific in what they're trying to accomplish. Okay? So I hope that this has been beneficial, and if y'all have any questions, please feel free to contact me.